Hey, this is Pete from Abstract Ocean. Today we're installing the mini dash display for Model 3 and Model Y. There's two parts of it. So this bit, which plugs into the CANbus connector at the back of your center console, we'll cover that in a second. And then this is the actual display, which just slots into the air vent in front of the steering wheel. And once installed, you get to see your real-time speed, either in miles or kilometers per hour, depending on the units that your car is set to, as well as state of charge when the car's in park, and then indicators and whichever gear you're in, so drive, reverse, park or neutral. So with that, we'll get on with the installation. Alright, so this is the little dash display. It literally just fits in there. It's a friction fit, but it doesn't move once it's installed, so it's really easy. We're going to run this cable along here, and then we'll run it down the car, down the side of the dash, along the sort of underside of the driver's door, just inside the trim, under the seat, and then we'll meet the other end, which will be this, which we'll have plugged into the CANbus. So we're going to start by running this cable. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is pop this off. This is really easy. Just hold on by a couple of plastic clips, like so. And then we want to get this cable, and we want to try and keep it flat as we go across here, because we're going to tuck it up underneath here so you can't see it when you're looking into the vent. So keep it flat, and then just bring it around here. And then if you need to, grab the spudger just to help this around. Depending on the age of your 3 or Y, you'll have, this is a generation 2 dash, which has these removable end caps. You may have a newer one which has the end caps that are part of the silver trim, but either way, same thing applies. We're just going to poke it behind there. Okay. I'm going to just bring it down here. We'll leave this off for a minute so we can channel the wire. And we're going to come down here, take all the kinks out of the wire, and then we're going to bring this along here, tuck it around the back of this trim here on the side of the footwell. Tuck that in, grab the spudger if you need to. This is easy with two hands because you can't just use one to pull the trim away, and then tuck that in like that. Then we're going to carry on working along the bottom here. Again, it's easier if you keep the cable flat because then you can just kind of tuck it up underneath fairly easily. But if you need to, use the trim tool just to pull it away a little bit. We're going to get about as far as, maybe you can see this, if I poke this under there, there's a little, this is where the front and rear carpets meet. It's kind of stuck together with Velcro, so we just need to get this far. And now we're going to pull the seat forward and work the cable underneath the seat. Okay, so we've moved the seat forward and up as far as it will go, and we're going to tuck this just underneath the seat trim here, so it's all a bit fingers and elbows, but there's a gap you can feed it through. You'll be able to feed it with your fingers, and then just bring that straight through like that. And then over here, if you can just bring the camera around, we're just going to tuck it underneath the join in the carpet trim, just so you can't see the cable when you're getting in and out of the car. Okay, next job is to remove this trim piece on the back of your center console. And the way I'm going to do that is, again, just get the trim piece or trim removal tool and just kind of shimmy it around and pop it out. There's not much holding it in, just 4 of these spring clips and a couple of plastic locating lugs. Move that out of the way for a sec. And then in here you have your CANbus connector. You don't need to power down the car to unplug it, and we're going to put this in between, so we're going to kind of daisy chain it in there. To do that, there's a little release clip here. Hopefully you can see that on camera. And that's what you need to press in. So if you press that in and then pull, it'll come right out really easy. If you already have the S3XY commander module connected in here, that's not a problem. You can daisy chain these together. It just means you have to push more of the cabling underneath here just to get out of the way so you can put the trim piece back on. Anyway, we're going to plug this in here. like so. Make sure you hear it click. And then this one goes on here. Same thing. Pull the cable out. So now we need to get this underneath the chair as well. We're going to do it at the same spot, so just kind of where the carpet joint is, there's a gap there. Like that. Plug it in. Then we're just going to tidy up some of the cabling a little bit. So over here we'll just tuck it into there a little bit so it's out of sight. We'll put the trim piece back on. When you put it back on, this middle clip goes at the top. There we go. And then under here, now we've got it connected, we just need to make sure it doesn't foul the seat tracks when you're moving the seat, so we're just going to tuck all the excess wire under here. Alright, let's go back to the front. Alright, so the last thing we want to do, just to kind of really tidy up the installation, is make sure this wire is out of sight. You don't want to be staring at this while you're driving. So there's a trim, or where the sort of bendy rubber bit, foamy rubber bit meets the dash, is a trim piece there which we can tuck it into. So this may not be that easy to see on camera, but that's really what I'm doing. Just kind of fingertips, just kind of working it in there and using the trim tool just to separate it a little bit. And then this last piece, there's kind of an air channel that blows against the window for defrosting, so we just need to work it over the top of that. Again, using the pry tool if you need to. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put my foot on the brake. You'll see we've got our state of charge, which right now is 63%. And then I can show you a few of the things. So obviously putting it in drive, putting it in reverse and so on, putting it in neutral if you want to, back to park. And then if we were to drive it, then you would see the real-time speed as well. So all that's left is to put the cap back on the side of the dash, which is pretty easy. Just going to kind of thump that into place. And there you have it, that's your install done.